This is Daryl Evans with Kings Vision at LAKings.com with Kings insider John Rosen. Well, the series moves back to Los Angeles, Game 5 tomorrow night. The series knotted at 2. Both teams holding on to their home ice advantage. Kings winning the first 2 games, San Jose winning the last 2. Really sets the stage for quite the game in Game 5. Pivotal game, arguably the most important game of this series. The Kings definitely going to have to make some adjustments in their game. And we look at today, right off the bat, Daryl Sutter not happy with what he saw last night. He started to move the lines around. Today in practice, he's got Kyle Clifford playing up on Kopitar's line, Penner playing alongside Richards and Carter, and he's got Dustin Brown with Trevor Lewis and Dwight King. So there's a little bit of unrest in Daryl Sutter's decisions with the lines that he's putting together.
Some adjustments, and they had to be made over the course of the series. Up to this point, through the first 10 games of the playoffs, the Brown-Kopitar-Williams line had averaged only 1 point per game, that line combined. Throughout the regular season, that line combined for 2.17 goals per game, so their output right now, less than half of that. So changes had to be made. Kyle Clifford able to jump in, plays somewhat similar of that role to Brown. He'll go in and he'll hit. Obviously doesn't have quite the same finishing ability that Brown has on that line, but lots of changes throughout the lineup. The Kings looking to increase their 5-on-5 scoring over the last 3 games, and I'm going to count Dustin Penner's goal from last night, even though that wasn't counted on the scoreboard. If that were to be counted, and of course there was that quick whistle, if that were to be counted, only 3 even strength goals over the last 9 periods. So the Kings have to increase their 5-on-5 scoring, looking for more production from players such as Kopitar, Williams, and Brown, and we'll see if these line adjustments heading into this pivotal Game 5 are the recipe to do so.
And when you look at the Kings in the first 10 games of the postseason so far, very reminiscent as to what we saw last year during the season. The difficulty in scoring goals, only 20 goals for in 10 games. That's not going to cut it. They're going to have to create some chances offensively, and it's going to have to start with the top guys. The top guys have not spent enough time in the offensive zone. They're working hard. Their effort has been there, but most of their effort has been used in the defensive zone, defending against San Jose's top 6 forwards. So the Kings going to have to make the adjustments offensively. They've got to start putting the puck into the soft spots to be able to establish their forecheck, and when they do, they've been taking the body, but they've got to stop the puck. If they do that, they'll spend more time in San Jose, and that'll lead to more chances.
Yeah, the comparison to last year's team is somewhat accurate. It's pretty accurate. You look at the way that Jonathan Quick has been able to keep this team in games. They're eking out wins. They're winning games. They're 6-4 in the postseason against 2 very good teams, but they're winning games by virtue of the goaltending, their special teams as well. And you look at the way they're doing this too. The offense needs to improve. 2 goals per game, as you mentioned, over the last since the last lockout, since a lockout that wiped out the 2004-2005 season. The team that made the Stanley Cup Finals with the lowest offense was the 2010-11 Vancouver Canucks. They averaged 2.32 goals per game. Right now, the Kings, they have to raise that 2 goals per game average because they're going up against a team that, Daryl Sutter doesn't like to use the term momentum from one game to the next. But obviously, if they want to keep playing in this playoffs and not hopefully eking out these narrow, close wins and staying in all these 1-goal games, they're going to need to put out more goals, 5-on-5, continue their strong power play because right now this series is quite tight and 2 quality defensive teams going at it.
I know last night when you look at the end of the game, the shots, 23 apiece for both teams. Scoreboard was close, only a 1-goal differential favoring the San Jose Sharks. But really, when you look at the first 20 minutes of the hockey game, that's when it was decided. San Jose, 15 of their 23 shots came in the opening period. 8 grade A scoring chances out there. Jonathan Quick was outstanding, giving the Kings a chance to hang around. They did hang around. Unfortunately, the goal by Penner to Foley, whoever you want to give that goal to, didn't count. Just a premature whistle. Poor officiating on that one by the NHL officials. But again, those things happen. Kings have to be better collectively as a team. They've had success at Staples Center, 5-0 at home in the playoffs, 12-0 their last 12 games on home ice. They've got to take advantage of that. And here they are. They've got a San Jose road team, a team that struggled. They were 12th in the West Conference during the regular season, 8-14-2. They're 2-2 in the postseason. Kings have to go at them aggressively and really set the tone.
Yeah, and when you look at the series, the 2-2 deadlock right now isn't exactly shocking. These were the 2 best home teams in the entire National Hockey League this year. Each team held court at home. Kings looking to do what they did in games 1 and 2, what the Sharks did in games 3 and 4, which is go out get that early start. Both teams known for their forechecking, their banging, their ability to get that first goal, have those strong first periods. You saw San Jose do that in Game 4 with those 15 shots on goal, as you mentioned. Kings doing a good job limiting the Sharks to only 8 shots on goal the rest of the way. That's actually the 23 shots on goal, their lowest output so far in the postseason. But again, now the pressure's back on LA. It becomes a best-of-3 series. It's going to be that first period. The Kings have been so strong in those first periods over the last 2 months, really. In April and May, the Kings have only given up a first-period goal in one of their games. That was the Game 4 against the St. Louis Blues. Kings hoping for some more home cooking certainly has been on their side throughout this postseason.
And I know you don't want to put all the emphasis on scoring the first goal of the hockey game, but I think it's the attitude that you come out and you display early on that'll set the tone for the game. If the Kings are able to score the first goal of the game, I think it'll really energize their hockey club. Also put a little bit in the minds of San Jose going, thinking, here we go again. Here's a team that's had great success at home during the regular season and during the postseason. I think it's imperative for the Kings to come out there and send that message early on.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a game where they want to be able to go out there, obviously, and do exactly what they had done for the previous however many games in this series, 2 other home games in this series. They have that backing. They talk about how loud Staples Center is, the players do, and how it is just as loud as HP Pavilion, which is one of the better home ice advantages in the league. The Kings have been fantastic at Staples Center. One of the marks of the championship last season that the Kings have created one of the best home ice environments, and the fact that they've made Staples Center a very difficult place to play. Kings are going to need the backing from the fans, as they always have had this season and in seasons past, and should be a pretty interesting Game 5 coming up. Big game here at Staples Center.
Well, throughout the series so far, the Kings have been limited to just over 25 shots per game while allowing over 32 shots per game. That's a 7-shot differential every game. They've got to change that in their favor. Should be a great game, Game 5 of the series. Kings looking to take a 3-2 series lead, going back to San Jose for Game 6, which will be played on Sunday. For John Rosen, I'm Daryl Evans for Kings Vision at LAKings.com.